What's up, guys? It's Dan from Coin Bureau Trading, back at it again with another crypto market update. Today we've got Tron, Iota, and Algorand. These three cryptos have been pumping a lot lately, and I'm sure all of you want to know, why are they pumping? How high are they going to go? Are they going to crash? That kind of stuff. If this is the content that you enjoy, then be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ping that notification bell so you don't miss any of these updates. And before we get started, guys, do keep in mind that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's just my personal crypto trading strategy. It's my personal crypto analysis. What you see in the charts, like your analysis of these cryptos could be different. And honestly, guys, if it is, that's awesome. The more difference of opinion we have, the better traders, the better investors we're all going to become, as I love to say. So with that being said, guys, first thing we have to ask, of course, is Tron has had a massive rally, and we have to ask ourselves, why exactly has this rally been happening, over the last 24 hours or so? And the funny thing is, guys, is that even Tron, if you go through their Twitter/X, which of course is a very simple way to check, what like any updates, what the update is that could have caused this pump. What's really interesting is there doesn't seem to be anything kind of obvious, like where even the Tron DAO Twitter/X is like looking with the with the eye emoji, being like, what's going on. Maybe it's possible that there's like front running of some big event or some big announcement or something, because besides that, guys, there's nothing really in there that really justifies the reason for this pump. And I guess even when I go to the of course, as you guys know, when I can't find a reason for the pump, then I like to go to the markets tab on CoinMarketCap, and I kind of check by trading volume. But the thing is that even there isn't anything in particular that like makes it stand out, like that something bizarre is going on. Like maybe there's like some like weird trading going on some of these offshore exchanges. You can even see that the price of Tron is higher on this crypto next exchange, but it's very bizarre, to be honest, guys. Like it's just like, maybe someone's pumping it through there, like possibly, but even then it's like there's nothing in here that makes it super obvious. And it's even crazier, guys, when we go, like, this is on the daily chart. Okay, Tron literally basically doubled overnight, which is insane. Like, of course, like cryptos do this from time to time, but when like we go back like to earlier this year, it doesn't have the same price history like we see in most cryptos, where there wasn't really like a big rally over the summer. There was almost nothing. It was just a slow grind up, and then all of a sudden you have a massive pump to the upside. That's a little bit sketchy, and maybe it's like, again, not to get too down the rabbit hole here, but those of you who've been around crypto for a while will know that Justin Sun, kind of like the guy who's behind Tron, he's kind of like a pretty big crypto whale, and I imagine he's friends with lots of crypto whales. Is it possible that he's kind of like pumping up prices to get people interested in Tron? It's possible. I'm not going to write that off. It does happen in other cryptos. It's not just Tron. Like a lot of cryptos do this type of stuff. But yeah, guys, it's really interesting to look, especially at the daily chart. I haven't drawn anything because I honestly don't know. Like when you get a move like this, it's like you just have to sit back and just wait to see what's going to come next, especially after this aggressive of a move. I suspect that Tron's going to probably, or TRX rather, is going to see a pretty substantial pullback, maybe like 10 or 20%. It's not going to happen overnight. You can already see the pullbacks kind of starting. It's going to last for another few days. Maybe it'll kind of like trail off, see a couple days of consolidation before moving higher, which would not necessarily be my base case. But it's clear, guys, like when you see cryptos that's pumping like this, and when everyone is talking about a crypto, chances are it's not the time to be aping in. Like, not financial advice, but as a rule of thumb, if everyone's talking about a crypto, if the crypto's pumping and everyone's looking at it, then this is probably the worst time to be aping in. That's typically a sign of like a local top, even if it's just like a local top for the next couple of days. You know what I mean? So with that being said, guys, we are on Bybit here. So if you are trying to, thinking of doing something cheeky, like, I don't know, like trying to short, like, I would never do that, especially in these conditions where the risks are skewed to the upside. But if you're trying to, go long or go short on TRX or any of the other cryptos that we're looking at today, then take advantage of that deal using the link in the description. Up to $60,000 of rewards on Bybit. It doesn't cost you a thing to sign up, but of course you do have to do quite a bit of trading, quite a bit of stuff to get those rewards. Which is why you should also check out the trading fee discounts that we have on Blowfin, OKX, KuCoin, and Binance. Signing up for those deals. Same with Bybit. It doesn't cost you a thing, but in the case of these trading fee discounts, it'll really help you out a lot. It's stuff that counts. I think, like, yeah, you have to look at the details, but most of the time it counts regardless of the amount you're trading with. So even if you're just trading with a few hundred, a few thousand, getting those trading fee discounts is going to help you out a lot, especially if you're trading frequently, which I'm sure a lot of you are these days, given how the markets are moving. And again, guys, it doesn't cost you a thing. It's completely free. The exchange gets a new user, you get a trading fee discount, and we get a cut of those trading fees. So it's like a win-win-win for everyone. So with that being said, guys, we can now move over to Iota, and of course, same thing with I guess similar to what we're seeing with Tron, is that I was kind of like scrolling through, seeing is there anything in here that's really like justifying why Iota should be rallying so much. I know it's been rallying not necessarily over the last 24 hours, but over the last week, it's been rallying a lot. And there's not really anything in here that is, I know they have this like upcoming update, maybe again, similarly to Tron, maybe there's like front running of some announcement, something that hasn't been announced yet. But again, there doesn't seem to be anything really too specific. Maybe this announcement of these new validators or whatever. But the thing is, guys, like there's nothing in here. Again, like the example I'm going to be probably using from now on is like Microsoft partnership, or Microsoft adds Iota to its balance sheet. Like you haven't seen anything like that, right? So it's really hard to kind of justify the pump. And with that being said, guys, we can turn over to the charts here, and we can actually see quite clearly that the pump is probably over for Iota. The starting point of this most recent move was probably, and again, we're on the daily chart here. The starting point of this most recent move was probably around 15 cents. The resistance is probably somewhere around 40 cents, I would say, quite clearly. Back to the spring highs there, and of course the difference there is 25 cents. So we take the resistance and we add the difference, and that gives us a target of around 65 cents, which was just barely hit. Like I think it hit like 63.9 something cents, yeah, 63.9 something cents, like yesterday or earlier today. So yeah, I do think that most of the move for Iota is over, which is why I haven't drawn any like charts in terms of like how much higher could it go, or like what is the return going to be. I do think that Iota is probably going to consolidate a little bit. Again, the risks are skewed to the upside. I have to say this on all these altcoins that I'm analyzing, that the risk that Iota just keeps powering higher is higher than the chance that it's just going to completely collapse. And when that's the case, guys, chances are that it's probably just going to chop for a couple days. Like even on the way up, you can see here that it would like rally, it would chop for a few days, rally, chop for a few days. So after this big rally, it wouldn't be surprising at all if it chops for a few days or even for a week or two, before moving higher. And at that stage, we can take another look and see how high it's going to go. Don't try and like think too far in advance. Just look at what the charts are telling you, and just trade based on kind of like what's been happening recently. As you guys can probably tell, like I'm not like the craziest expert trader out there, but I do follow a lot of expert traders, I would say. And what I've noticed is their secret sauce is that they really just look at what's in front of them, and they don't try to think too much. Don't look too far in the past, don't look too far in the future. Just trade what's in front of you, and that tends to be the most successful strategy. It's the moment when you start like thinking it's going to go higher or lower, and you start imposing your will on the charts. That's when you get wrecked. With that being said, guys, we can now move over to Algorand, and of course, same thing as with Tron and Iota. There's nothing in particular that really stands out as a justification for Algo to be pumping. Of course, in Algorand's case, it's a little bit clearer that when we go here and we sort by trading volume on CoinMarketCap, we can see that a lot of trading volume is coming from Korea. One of you mentioned in the comments yesterday that the reason why cryptos like Algo and XRP and VeChain, the reason why they're pumping so much in Korea, why there's so much trading volume, is because there's like something related to tax. Like there's been like they basically like there's gonna be no tax, I believe, or something like that on crypto. They'd like keep kicking the can down the road. They were supposed to tax it. Again, I'm not super familiar with the details, guys. And sure, like that definitely explains why there's lots of trading of these cryptos in South Korea, but it doesn't explain why they're specifically going after cryptos like Algo, XRP, VeChain, right? And you can say, oh, it's because these are like the most well-known cryptos. I'm not so sure, guys. It wouldn't surprise me at all if there is a little bit of a coordinated, let's say, pumping going on there. And again, this is something that happens for basically almost every crypto. So when I say that there's like coordinated pumps or pumps and dumps or whatever by these influencer groups, it's not something that's unique to Algorand or XRP or VeChain or any of these guys. It happens for most of crypto. So don't think that I'm just like talking down on these cryptos. Like it's something that happens all the time, and I'm just pointing it out so that you guys know. And again, I don't know with 100% certainty, but I'm pretty sure that this is the kind of stuff that's driving the price action. Basically, what happens, of course, is that you have like this initial pump with like these insiders, like these whales, these crypto whales pump it with the help of influencers. That gets retail investors interested, and then when the conditions are like they are now, then the new retail investors come in, and then the price keeps pumping, and then the narrative kind of comes after, like I was saying yesterday, I think. So with that being said, guys, we can now move over to the Algorand chart. And similarly to Iota, I do think the move for Algorand is kind of over. Again, we're on the daily, guys, always on the daily when I'm doing this analysis. The starting point here is around 11 cents, resistance around 32 cents, I would say, quite clearly, especially if we zoom out. You can see 32 cents was roughly the high from the spring. So the difference there, of course, is around 21 cents. And that gives us a target, when we add the resistance to the difference, gives us a target of around 53 cents. And Algo actually got above that, quite significantly above that, actually went all the way above 60 cents. But you can see when we zoom in a little bit here, guys, when you see these long wicks on top, on like daily candles or hourly candles or whatever, long wicks on top tell you a lot of people are taking profit around that level. And the reason why there was all this wicks was probably either because there was like actual robot, like trading bots or traders that were taking profits, or even just like in the order books, there was a lot of people who had it like basically set that when it gets to this level, then start selling. And this is what results in these kind of wicks. And of course, the opposite, like to the downside, when you see it's a little bit hard to see here, guys, but when you see these wicks on the red candles, like when the prices are crashing, you see a wick on the bottom, like of a red candle, that kind of tells you that people are buying the dip. So in this case, it's like people are really taking profits aggressively as algo is rallying, and then the opposite would be the case when there's red candles. But fortunately or unfortunately, Algorand hasn't seen any of those yet. I suspect that algo will probably see a little bit of a pullback, maybe just like consolidation. Again, like my base case, guys, for all these altcoins, that they're gonna keep powering higher. So maybe algo has like a few days or even just like a week of cooling off before moving higher, the same way it did back here, or I guess late in November. So it's probably going to see something like that, and then it'll probably keep powering higher. And by the end of the year, by the end of December, it'll probably be higher than what it is now. But it's not going to happen overnight. So if you're aping in now thinking it's just going to go up only, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to panic. You're going to sell, and then it's going to keep going higher, of course, the moment that you sell. That's how crypto works. It's designed to mess with your mind. And with that being said, guys, messing with your mind and trying to keep you on track. Like, this is the type of stuff I don't want to say that we help with, but that we try and kind of do in the Coin Bureau Club. We have an awesome community there. People who are kind of like-minded, who just know, like, don't be cheeky, don't try and be brave. Just like, find quality altcoins and hold them. This is what the Coin Bureau Club's all about, is like finding these quality altcoins and just riding them to the top. We do weekly altcoin reviews of small caps that are voted on by our members. We even take like suggestions from our members on like which altcoins we should add to the poll. So it's not like we're the ones who are the only ones who are deciding like what goes into the poll. We also take your guys' feedback into account. Every single day, we're doing research feed posts like about what's going on in the market. And this is kind of like where the alpha that I'm sharing at the end of these videos that I'm doing, a lot of the alpha that I'm sharing is actually stuff that I posted in the research feed. And of course, there's a lot more that I'm posting there than what I'm telling you guys here. But if you do like this alpha that you're finding at the end of the video, do keep in mind this is the type of stuff I'm posting every single day in the Coin Bureau Club in the research feed. And of course, we showcase our personal crypto portfolios as well, our top 20 holdings specifically, as well as the top 10 cryptos that we're considering adding to our portfolios. And we have exclusive deals for those who are looking to find like, discounts on like other platforms like crypto analytics platforms and stuff like that, which this is Coin Bureau Club is more like, we're doing deep dives into altcoins and just like written analysis. But if you want like stuff like indicators and stuff, this is where the Coin Bureau Club has some exclusive deals on exactly these types of platforms. And of course, we also have a members Discord where you can ask us questions. And if we have the time, and of course, we'll reply. And I'm doing daily Bitcoin and Ethereum analysis every single day, as well as select altcoins. And I must say that it's been going quite well recently. With that being said, guys, of course, if you did make it this far, then it's time for your, you've earned some crypto alpha here. And in this case, guys, this is where things I think I mentioned it maybe in a video probably a couple of weeks ago, that the one thing that I think a lot of people are overlooking is that all this Bitcoin is basically being wrapped and brought onto these chains, whether it's Ethereum or Solana. Basically in my opinion, every single chain that has like wrapped Bitcoin on it is going to do extremely well, because what crypto whales are going to do, guys, is they're going to use their Bitcoin as collateral. They're going to borrow stable coins against that Bitcoin, and then they're going to invest basically that capital into altcoins. That's kind of like what we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks. If you actually look at, I've been pointing it out in previous videos, but you look at like Ethereum's DeFi ecosystem and stuff, you can see that there's a lot of leverage, a lot of stablecoin borrowing against ETH and Bitcoin. But the thing is, guys, that it's not just going to be on Ethereum. It's not just going to be on Solana. There are other chains. And when we're, thinking in terms of, okay, like, of course, we're already seeing lots of pumps in Ethereum. Solana has had quite a bit of a pump, and like tokens in Solana's ecosystem have also pumped quite a bit. So the question is, where is the opportunity, right? Like which cryptos are the ones that like no one's really paying attention to, the ones that could see the most gains at this point in the cycle, right? I'm not saying that all those other I'm not saying that Ethereum's not going to pump. I'm not saying Solana's not going to pump, but at this stage in the cycle, like the time to be in Solana was like a year ago or 2 years ago, right? Like that was the time to buy, right when it was at the bottom and when it was like starting to wake up. And the awesome thing is, guys, is that there's a lot of cryptos that are kind of in the same position that Solana and Ethereum were like a couple of years ago. These cryptos have really been completely forgotten and beaten down. Long-winded way of saying, guys, I do think there's going to be a lot of activity inside Cosmos's ecosystem, and that's all going like, all these different Cosmos cryptos. And I do think a lot of this is going to come through osmosis. For those of you who are unfamiliar, osmosis is kind of like you could kind of say like the liquidity hub or the DEX or whatever, term you want to use. But basically all the trading of Cosmos cryptos happens on osmosis. And osmosis itself is right now, it's a mid cap. I think it's around 500 million market cap. So it could easily, again, I'm not saying it will, but it could easily like 10x, and it would still be like, a decently, like I would say like a modestly sized crypto relative to the value it can add. And especially now that like osmosis is adding some basically a Bitcoin bridge. This is something that's been in the works for a while, I believe, but now Bitcoin is launching on osmosis. And as I was just saying, guys, with Cosmos building out all these DeFi primitives and adding in like wrap Bitcoin and all this stuff, I do think that the Cosmos ecosystem is going to do extremely well. And I do think osmosis is going to be at the tip of the spear there. And of course, osmosis and a lot of these Cosmos cryptos do do have high inflation rates. That's very well known. They have like 33% inflation per year or whatever. But the thing is, guys, during bull markets when everyone's aping in, these inflation rates don't really matter. That's just the brutal reality. Go back in time and look at Solana at 199 for like 99% of its supply unlocked in like a month, and then it went up 50x after that. So don't get too hung up on like this high FDV narrative and like all these token unlocks and inflation. All that stuff goes out the window when there's demand. The supply side of the equation does not matter when the demand side is just so insanely large this is the type of stuff to look out for. So I'm giving you guys some alpha. I'll be completely transparent. I personally don't hold Osmosis. I do have a couple small cap Cosmos-based cryptos, but I do not hold Osmosis personally, just because I think that there's other small caps, and these are the ones that we've reviewed in the Coin Bureau Club. I do think there are other Cosmos-based small caps that have more potential in percentage terms, but if you're looking for like a robust play, like kind of like something like kind of like a blue chip, let's say, a larger blue chip crypto in Cosmos's ecosystem that's going to do very, very well. In my opinion, Osmosis is one of them, and it's one to be watching closely. I think, especially when you look at the chart, it looks like Osmosis is going to break out, and it won't surprise me in the slightest if we're reviewing Osmosis, later this week or next week, at the rate or at least based on how the charts are looking. So with all that being said, guys, if you do want to become a member of the Coin Bureau Club, you can do that using the link in the description. If you made it this far, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, ping that notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one.